So now let's talk about Osiris. Osiris is the definition of a lane bully. He looks to get in and just abuse whoever he's fighting. So let's talk about the abilities first. Starting with Osiris's passive, basically every single time he throws out an ability, he's going to gain damage mitigation. So 2% for physical, 1% for magical. He can do this 8 times, which gives him, 16% physical mitigation, 8% magical mitigation. And then when he goes and gets to 8 stacks, but basically when you get to 8 stacks, he can just walk and has the Fatalis effect. So you don't need to build in a haste and katana in order to have this effect. Once Osiris is at 8 out of 8 and he shed all of his skin, then he gets to auto attack 6 times, like 6 connected auto attacks before he puts all of his skin back on. And then he also loses all of that damage mitigation as well. So yeah, you can see it's a buff. He gains mitigation. And then once he has 8 out of 8, he has Fatalis effect for 6 connected autos. Okay, first ability. It's a sickle. He throws a sickle. It deals damage and it slows people. So you can see, oh, look at that. Now Odin's pretty slow. Look at him go. Oh, poor guy. He's getting abused. Not the hardest ability to understand. It's just a slow. It does a pretty hefty chunk of damage. Second ability is a circle. It deals damage and it speeds up Osiris if you hit enemies. Okay, if you hit enemy gods, you're gonna go super fast. Now, this also pairs with the 1. As you noticed, there's a sickle in poor Odin when you hit them with the sickle strike. If you hit, oh, I gotta hit the ability. Let's just reset. If you hit the ability and then you hit the 2 on Odin, he's gonna be super slow for the duration. So basically it increases up to 40% for 3 seconds after you connect both abilities. So then you're going to be moving faster. They're going to be moving super slow and it's just a good time. Third ability, Judgment Tether. Basically, you're going to tether yourself to all nearby enemies. Targets hit are going to deal reduced damage over the next 4 seconds. The tether can be broken if targets move far enough away from Osiris. Okay, so you tether, you're going to draw a little line. If they get far enough away, they break the tether. As long as they're tethered, they're going to be dealing reduced damage. If you keep the tether on the entire time, and I think the duration's like 3 seconds or something, then they're going to get stunned. So if we stay in range of poor Odin here, then he's going to get stunned as long as the tether is still active. Okay? And then finally, we have the ultimate. So Osiris leaps forward, sheds all of his clothes, and then starts the party. So you can see here, I'm going to leap forward, I'm going to dash, and then you can see right there, Osiris is now nude. Okay, Osiris has lost all of his clothes and immediately gains the passive that we talked about before. Okay, another added benefit of using the ult is that whoever you land on is going to take damage and have 100% reduced healing for 6 seconds. Yeah, so basically whoever you land on with the ult is not going to be able to heal. Okay, so that's the kit. It's pretty basic. Now let's talk about the attack chain, because this is pretty important. If you're looking here, we have a 4-hit attack chain with Osiris. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what you probably noticed there is the first 2 hits are single target, the second 2 hits are multi-target. This is really important when you're clearing minions, because if you can go and hit, multiple things with your auto attacks, you're going to have really a lot better clear earlier. So I'm going to move over to the lane here, and we're going to talk about this. So it's very common early game you want to just maximize the amount of times that you're using the 3rd and 4th auto attacks. It's very common as the waves are meeting to see Osiris players prime the first 2 hits in the attack chain and just have a good time. Maybe you can go against the Ymir for showing walking through player obstacles. Yes, I can do that. Because that is something that I did neglect to mention. Thank you for catching that. So basically, yes, whenever Osiris is in the passive, let's wait for the wall to come down here. Let's just dodge that. Oh, the wall didn't even come out. Thank you, Ymir. Okay, we're going to stall this out. we're gonna keep our passive active. We're just gonna let Ymir beat the shit out of us. Ymir, but you are not impeded by any player-made walls and obstacles. So Thor wall, there we go. You can walk through Ymir wall, all the fun walls you can just dance through. Okay, so that's the auto attack chain we've covered. Just try to, especially early game, you want to maximize the amount of times you're using the AoE auto attacks. And then let's talk about, you know, why this guy's such a bully. Typically, this guy is played in solo lane. So you're going to go, and I actually recommend ability leveling order being maxing out the first ability first. It has a really low cooldown. As you can see, 3.5 seconds versus 7% or 7 seconds. And this is after we have quite a bit of cooldown reduction. So what's good is basically you can look to get up in someone's face, land a few auto attacks, and then auto attack cancel. So if you're on top of Odin, you're just bopping them, and then you keep using your first two or first one, and then you're just trying to weave in as many abilities as possible. This at max rank is dealing 270 flat damage. Typically you can get that at level 8 is when you're looking to get that first ability close to max, right? So that's going to start hurting pretty quick. As long as you can hit your tethers. As Osiris, again, you're looking to bully your opponent. You are looking to play aggressive and snowball. And then for relics, what I recommend, again, just like with Achilles, I'm recommending, you know, blink thorns. Same reason. You blink in, you're dealing damage, especially with all the added mitigation you get. If you pop thorns, the carry is going to just probably kill themselves on your body. That's pretty much Osiris. This is the build I recommend. It's very similar to the Achilles build because typically I build very simple items in similar circumstances. Again, I think a common mistake I see is people trying to build Osiris for auto attacks. After level like 4 or 5, when you're both comfortably clearing lane, it doesn't really matter how fast or how many times you're cleave auto attacking, because you're pretty much just looking to just body whoever you're fighting. I typically will build Osiris like this because I value hitting more of the first and second ability rather than just walloping on them with the flails and, you know, doing a dance on them. So that's kind of where that's at.